Good evening, everyone. My name is Pooja Dwivedi. Welcome to my class, The Daily Current Affairs. Without any delay, I'm going to move forward with today's class. Also, make sure that you watch one of the classes that I have recently taken. Israel has declared a war on the Hamas. That is available on the StudyIQ IAS English channel. Make sure you watch that. You'll gather a lot of information. From the perspective of your UPSC prelims and mains, the DC is very important. Make sure you are a subscriber to my Telegram channel by the name of Pooja Dwivedi UPSC, so that you can get all the PDFs that I use here to teach. Also, if you have any questions regarding this examination, talk to me on my Instagram, follow me on my threads. Now, these are the various events that we have to cover today. First of all, let's talk about this practice question that I gave you to solve. Many of you have answered it correctly. I will take your names by the end of the class. With reference to the tiger reserves, consider the following statements. Tiger reserves are notified by the central government. The tiger reserves are notified as per provision section 38V of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. The National Tiger Conservation Authority recommends the proposal to the central government. So, how many of the statements given above is or are correct? The tiger reserves come into existence after they are notified by the state government and not the central government. So, this particular statement is incorrect because it is the state government and not the central government. And the recommendation is done from the side of the National Tiger Conservation Authority, and it recommends the proposal to the state government and not the central government. So again, the first and the third statements are incorrect. If I talk about the second statement, this is the one that is only correct. So one only will be the correct answer. The Goa bench of the Bombay High Court has directed the Goa government to declare the Mahadev Wildlife Sanctuary and other sites that are covered by the NTCA as tiger reserves. Tiger reserves are notified by the state government as per the section 38V. Sometimes what will happen that UPSC can ask us very data specific question as well. So you have to make sure you remember the facts, alright. On the advice of the National Tiger Conservation Authority, what are the steps that are involved? First, proposal is obtained from the state. State proposes it, and after that the next process moves forward. In principle, approval is communicated from the NTCA soliciting detailed proposals under section 38V of the Wildlife Protection Act. The recommendation of the proposal is done to the states after due diligence, understanding the entire situation of that area, the ecologically sensitivity of that area, everything is taken into account, and the state government then notifies the area as a tiger reserve. Next, consider the following statements. The Hamas dominates both the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, while Fatah dominates only the West Bank. The Hamas is designated as a terrorist organization by Iran and Turkey. So we have to see which of the statements given above is or are correct. Recently, war has been declared by Israel on the Hamas. Hamas basically takes care of the Gaza Strip. Okay, it rules here. It is a de facto ruler over here, although it has been considered as under Israeli occupation since the 2000s. But what happens that basically Hamas, what I have to tell you here is Hamas is a militant movement. Okay, it is a militant movement and it started in 1987. I have covered this. In 1987, it started through doing social work and pro-Palestinian sentiments. But later on, when Fatah was also in the Gaza Strip, Fatah is right now ruling in West Bank, and there Fatah has renounced all sort of violence. But Hamas is the one that has in its charter to destroy Israel. And see, from that perspective only, more than 5,000 missile launches have been striking from the Gaza Strip in the territories of Israel. Okay, so this is a problem. Here is the Gaza Strip. From here, the Israel territories have been under attack. And in retaliation to that, what has Israel said? That we are going to destroy the Hamas. Alright, and this is the West Bank, which is under the occupation. We can say not occupation, but we can call it under the de facto ruling of Fatah. Fatah only rules here, but not in Gaza. In Gaza, there is only one presence, that is the Hamas. Okay, so first statement, the Hamas dominates both Gaza Strip and West Bank. No, it dominates only the Gaza Strip. Fatah dominates the West Bank. The Hamas is designated as a terrorist organization by many countries, but Hamas gets a lot of support with the help of Hezbollah, which is backed by Iran. And also, if we talk about Turkey, Turkey also, you can say, houses many of its officials, Hamas officials. So first statement is incorrect, second statement is also incorrect. How many are correct? Sorry, which of the statements is or are correct? D is the correct answer over here. And as you can see, this particular, war that is going to take place, it is reminiscent of 2021 war between Israel and the Hamas. That lasted for 11 days. Again, we can see that countries such as Egypt and the USA may come into the picture because last time only they brokered a peace treaty. And here is Gaza Strip. Now, Gaza Strip has certain crossings in which two crossings are taken care of by Israel because this is airtight in nature. Airspace is completely under the, we can say, supervision and control of Israel. And here is the Rafah crossing. Rafah crossing is controlled by Egypt. Both are in, Gaza, across the Gaza and Egypt. And here is the Mediterranean Sea. So you have to keep in mind it shares a border with Egypt, Israel, and coastline of the Mediterranean Sea. Moving on, consider the following statements. Money bill can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha cannot amend or reject it. Money bill is very powerful. I mean, Lok Sabha is very powerful with respect to money bill. Financial bills have the provision of including the Rajya Sabha recommendations. Aadhaar Act of 2016 and Finance Act of 2017 were introduced in the Lok Sabha as money bill. So how many of the statements given above is or are correct? Whatever pertains to Article 110 of the Indian Constitution can be introduced as a money bill, and that can be done only in the Lok Sabha and not the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha's powers are very restricted. They can suggest amendments, but that suggestion will be abided by the Lok Sabha is not guaranteed. So, in this manner, first of all, we have to understand Lok Sabha is all powerful, and this bill, money bill, can originate only in the Lok Sabha because it is certified by the Lok Sabha speaker and the decision is final. So, first statement here is correct. Only in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha cannot amend or reject it. First is correct. Financial bills are very different from money bills in the sense they are related to expenses only, but the recommendation can be done from the perspective of Rajya Sabha also. Aadhaar Act 2016 and Finance Act of 2017 are few of the most controversial bills that have been introduced in the Lok Sabha to bypass Rajya Sabha's discretion, and they were introduced as money bills from that very perspective. The first statement is correct, second is correct, third is also correct. All three will be the correct answer. The Supreme Court has recently said that we are going to constitute a 7-judge bench so that we can consider that which kind of bills can be validated as money bill or not. Because one of the reasons is Aadhaar Act that was brought into existence as a money bill so that Rajya Sabha cannot have a say in it. So, Article 110 of the Indian Constitution says that a bill is said to be money bill which exclusively deals with the matters that are pertaining to the Article 110. All the bills which deals with the provision concerning revenue and expenditures are finance bill or financial bill. And the form of it, money bill, is a government bill. Finance is generally ordinary. Introduction can be done only in the Lok Sabha, and category A bills can be introduced in the Lok Sabha for finance bills, and category bills can be introduced in either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. This is also a very good preliminary fact that you have to remember. Prior approval of president or government is required in case of money bill. For finance, prior approval of president is required. For certification, it is certified by the Lok Sabha speaker, the money bill. Not certified by the speaker, the finance bill. Powers of Rajya Sabha is very restricted when it comes to money bill. Both the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have equal powers in finance bill. So these are the certain things that you have to remember. Now, with respect to the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, choose the incorrect statement. It bans all nuclear explosion, whether they are for peaceful purposes or military purposes. Russia ratified the agreement in 2000. What is ratification? That means once you sign it, you have to ratify it. That means you are suggesting that now we are bound by this particular treaty. We are not going to breach this treaty. The US is still to do so. USA has not done it yet. Since the CTBT, 10 nuclear tests have taken place. For the treaty to enter into force, it must be signed as well as ratified by 22 specific nuclear technology holding countries. So we have to see the incorrect one, right? This particular CTBT is basically a multilateral treaty that bans the nuclear explosions or nuclear tests even if they are peaceful. The first statement is definitely correct. The thing is that in order for this particular treaty to come into force, there is a certain number of countries that have to sign and ratify it. Some have signed it, and ratified it. Some have signed it but not ratified it. Even the USA is one of the countries that hasn't done it. Russia has also ratified it, but it is now saying that we are going to withdraw. We are not going to ratify it. We are going to withdraw from it because we are not going to do so that we can conduct nuclear explosions or nuclear tests. We are doing it just to be at par with the USA because USA has not ratified it as of yet. It is not bound by any, we can say clauses of the treaty. Why should we be? Although you have to keep in mind that Soviet Union did conduct nuclear explosions and tests, but Russia has not done it ever. Okay, so first is correct, second is also correct. Since the CTBT, the presence of it, 10 nuclear tests have taken place. We have also conducted it in India. And for the treaty to enter into force, it must be signed as well as ratified by 44, not 22. 44 specific nuclear technology holding countries. So remember it, 1, 2, 3. ABC correct, D is not correct, D will be the correct statement. I have already told you this. CTBT is a multilateral treaty banning all nuclear explosions, including military or peaceful. Although it was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in 1996, it's still in the ratification stage. Many states have not done it yet. 18 countries are yet to ratify it. Russia did it, but USA did not do it. Since the CTBT, there are 10 nuclear tests that have happened. India conducted 2 in 1998. Pakistan also conducted in 1998. North Korea conducted tests in 2006, 2009, 13, 16 twice, and 2017. USA last tested a nuclear device was in 1992. China and France in 1996 and Soviet Union in 1990. Russia has never conducted a nuclear test. That means after the breaking away of the Soviet Union, we have Russia. Russia has not conducted it. Remember that. Okay, notably for the treaty to enter into force must be ratified by 44 technology holding countries for nuclear, 8 of which have yet to ratify the agreement, including China, Egypt, India, Iran, Israel, North Korea, Pakistan and the USA. What happens? Another question can be formulated. Consider the following countries. The name of the countries will be given and a question will be asked, how many of the above countries have not ratified the comprehensive test ban treaty? 1 only, 2 only, 3 only or 4, like that. Okay, remember that because UPSC can ask us anything now. Consider the following statements about Southeast Asia's first high-speed railway. China is funding most of it through its Belt and Road Infrastructure Initiative. It connects Jakarta to Kuala Lumpur and it runs on electricity or electrical energy that is going to reduce carbon footprint. So how many of the statements given above is or are correct? That is true that Southeast Asia's first high-speed railway. It is being funded largely by China through its Belt and Road Initiative. So first is correct. And it connects Jakarta to Bandung, not Kuala Lumpur. Second is not correct. It runs on electrical energy, that is why it is going to save the environment as well. Alright, so first is correct, second is not correct, third is definitely correct. So 1 and 3, that means 2 only will be the correct answer. Indonesian President Joko Widodo has inaugurated Southeast Asia's first high-speed railway. It was set to begin commercial operations, a key project under China's Belt and Road Initiative. It will drastically reduce the travel time between the two cities. These two cities are Jakarta and Bandung. Okay, so remember that. Here is Jakarta, here is Bandung. Okay, and the reduction of time will be roughly 40 minutes. You also have to remember that. This is a $7.3 billion project. It is largely funded by China, constructed by PT Kereta Cepat Indonesia and China, which is known as PT KCIC, which is a joint venture between the Indonesian consortium of 4 companies and China Railway International Company Limited. Okay, and it is going to run on electrical energy, expecting to reduce the carbon footprint. It is also, if we talk about India's first high-speed train, it is the fastest in Southeast Asia at speeds up to 350 km per hour. It was dubbed as Whoosh, and this is from a phrase by the meaning Waktu Hemat Operasi Optimal System Handal. That means time-saving optimal operation, dependable system. Next, consider the following statements about non-fungible tokens. They can have multiple owners at one time. NFTs can be traded online using cryptocurrency. It works on blockchain technology and it gives user complete ownership of the digital asset. So how many of the statements given above is or are correct? Non-fungible tokens are nothing but something that is in hard format. You can convert it into digital format, drawings, GIFs, music, and then you can trade it online with the help of cryptocurrency. It is backed by blockchain technology, giving one person a complete ownership. and it can be for only one person, not multiple owners. Okay, so first is incorrect, third is correct, and they can be traded online, and that is why it is becoming more popular. The second and third are correct, first is not correct, two only will be the correct answer. These are anything which can be converted into digital format, photos, videos, in-game items, selfies, etc., etc. Can be traded online using cryptocurrencies which work on blockchain technology. Terra Nullius was the first NFT on Ethereum blockchain. They work on blockchain and gives user the complete ownership of the asset. They can have only one owner at a time. A very tricky question can be formulated. This is a practice question for you to answer by the next class so that I can take your names. Which of the following cities towns has recently become Madhya Pradesh's first solar powered town? These are the given options. Let me take the names of those students who have answered my last question correctly. Okay. So Manish has answered one only, I guess. Arzu, investigating officer can be inspector, but from whom he has to or she has to take approval, it should be the DGP. Okay. Devi has answered it correctly. Gopesh, Tejas, Padmashri, Siddharth, Kiran, my goodness, Arpit, Ritu, Ankit, Shruti, Abul, Abhishek, Vasundhara, Vaishali, Neeraj, Vivek, Nikhil. Thank you so much for answering the last question. Answer this question as well.